For this class, what we are going to do is some different things. First, we have a waiting room. We already did it. It's what just was the 15 minutes that we take to wait for enough players and to play together. After this, we are going to have some objectives and some schedule. At the beginning, because the last class was a little bit extensive and was very important, I'm going to do a small recap. I'm going to take only 10 minutes for that. Then we are going to start by setting up our map rules. With this, you are going to see how I create a game and what will be the best way for you to create it, okay? So moving next, or the next part, is going to be building techniques. With this, I'm going to bring you some tips, some specific parts of the building process that we need to take care of. And not only by placing blocks, I mean more deeper things like thinking about the player, what the player sees, how the player can react, what will be the best way to design the spaces. Yes, we also are going to have a map review. So in case, as an example, you want me to play some game with you from your maps, just go ahead and send me the map. Also, if you want me to check your advances about the map, just let me know in the comments and I will be able to do it, but when we reach that part. Also, we are going to start building our map, so I'm going to show you in real time how do I build the map, and we are going to have a time to resolve some question and answers, okay? Finally, we are going to start right now with the game. So the first thing that we are going to do is that we are going to set up some map rules. So we are going to start creating the game, okay? So let me switch to mini words, guys. So you will be able to see all the screen in real time. Okay, so right now you're able to see the mini word screen, right? Let me do a double check over the real time. Yes, I see that you are able to see my main screen. So let's continue with this. For this, guys, the first thing that we are going to do is to create the base for our map. So we are going to hit right here. You're going to see a button. Remember, first you hit start. Probably you're going to have in a different language, but it's going to be the first tile, the first button, the first part of the UID in the center at the left side. Under, you're going to see all your maps, okay? So you have right on the bottom a specific part that shows you two different buttons. Probably the colors are going to change. In my case, it's orange and has a plus symbol on it. When you hit on that one, you will be able to actually find this new menu, correct? So to create a map, don't hit on creation, don't hit on survival. Instead of that, right over here, you are going to have a tab to move to the depth tab. Why is important? Because this won't allow us to use triggers and use other advanced features. Well, this will allow us to personalize and customize everything, okay? So this is going to be the best one. Give a proper name to your map. In my case, as I'm just going to do an example, I'm going to name it as a def or minicamp. School example. Alright guys, so important things right here. It's very easy to keep it unlimited, okay? Why you're going to keep it unlimited? Because it's with that we are going to have like a limitations in the construction. Also remember this, as we are going to create a map, if the players try to exit from the school, we are going to teleport the player back to the spawn point, so don't worry for the size. But what actually you have to worry about is that the map is not going to have like mountains or pre-made terrain. So for this we have two options. We can create a flatland, in which case I would recommend to use grassland, or the second one could be the floating island. What will be the difference? Grassland is going to give you a floor, so it's going to be easy to build, and it's not going to take that much blocks because it's not going to only fill like the 6 or the 7 first layers of the floor, so the players are going to load your map faster. Remember this, you don't touch the size, keep it on unlimited. And the second option is to keep a floating island. So when you create a floating island, you are going to get just a small square, and you can delete that and start building from zero. So that means that your players are not going to need to load the floor. Personally, for this one, I'm going to choose grassland, but also it's okay to choose floating island, okay? To avoid monsters and animals to spawn, be sure that this part has a check out. So that means that you are not going to have this marked with a check mark. And also this part, you can please go ahead and keep it completely unchecked. Now for plugin library, keep it empty. And right now, just to show you again an overview, you should have this part just like mine, okay? As you see right here, there's no other setups. So once more, fill the name, keep this part in unlimited, select flat, select grassland or floating island, keep this empty, and now let's hit on start. So your map is going to take a little bit to start, okay? And right now you are going to get the classic screen with nothing on it, okay? So that's going to be okay because that's how we are going to start the map, okay? So first part, to set it up the rules, we are going to hit hitting this small button in the top. You see there's like some buttons, probably you are going to have less than 9 if you are not developers. Right now, the last one is the one that we are going to choose, the one that is over here. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Yes, you can see my mouse. All right, so there you are going to find like different specific parts of the screen. Probably is going to be in another language, but the basic things is that this menu is going to be called developer tools. You will have basic options to set up the rules of your game. You are going to have trigger sections to create some triggers, and scripts, of course, to create some codes on it to implement in your map. First, we are going to go to word settings, okay? And an important thing, for this map, you can choose the time, okay? So some players were asking me, how did you create a night game or a morning game? The only thing that you need to do is in this part, select time, and this is going to be the hours inside the game, starting from 0, that is going to be 12 p.m., and finishes into 11 o'clock in the nighttime. So 12 is going to be noon, and 6 is going to be morning. If you place it on 18, it's going to be 6 p.m. So, important things as always, if you change this, the sky is going to change. So as an example, if you are going to do as a team a vampire school, you can keep it on the night. Or if you are going to do I don't know, heaven school, like angels and all that theme, you can keep it on mid and you're just in the noon, and you are going to see that the sky changes. Also, some of you can implement that the time will change during the day. So if you want the time to change, be sure that this fixed timer is off. But if you want just to keep the same time all the time, just hit on, and your time is not going to change. For the weather, actually you can have sunny or rain, but my personal recommendation is keep it on sunny, because sometimes when you keep it on rainy or sunny and rainy, it's going to be a little bit upset to have the rain. Now for generation monster, as this school is not going to generate any monster, I'm going to ask you to keep it off. With this, we are not going to spawn any monster. Gravity is very easy, you can keep it like it is. In my games, to give the players like a feel that they are a little bit more agile, that they can jump, or they are more, they have more skills to move around, I keep it on 7 or 8, okay? Don't change that much, because if you do, as an example, a 0 is going to be very slow for the players. So check this. As you see, it takes like a long time to fall down, so it's going to be too much. So any amount in between 7 and 8 is going to work fine. So let me show you the difference in real time. I'm going to place some blocks so you will be able to notice. And let me just test with you the 1. So now it's in 1. As you see, I jump and I fall fast. So you will be able to play, but it's going to be very, very fast. Instead of that, if I change to 7, the player is going to feel like more agile. It's going to take more time to take decisions about where he's going to jump, and it's not going to be like choose. It's going to have another feeling for the player. So it's my personal recommendations. Once more, it's up to you to select which one you are going to use. Now, let's move ahead and let's choose this falling switch. My recommendation, as we don't want the players to kill themselves, as this is a school simulator, we are going to keep it off. If you move off this one, the players are not going to receive damage if they fall. Now, for machinery, you're going to select car can be destroyed to off. We don't need that feature. Now, we already finished with the world settings. Now we are going to set the map rules, okay? Always, guys, for these kind of games, be sure that you are going to create an introduction. An introduction is going to be like a screen when you start the game that is going to show you all the rules for this map, okay? So remember that also you can have like a translation for this with the translation button. For now, turn it on, and as you see on here, you are going to get this new screen, okay? So what does new screen does? It's very simple. Let me show you in my other map. A quick example of it. Just give me a second. Let's move to this one. Hello, Anna. How are you? I see that you are coming from the Spanish class, eh? So yeah, also for the Spanish students, remember that the Spanish class is going to be in the evening at 6 p.m. in Colombia time. So guys, let me show you the quick example about this. Okay? So, right now, when I access again to this map, you're going to see this screen that is going to show you that specific part that is going to be the introduction, okay? So as you see, we are letting the players know the rules about this game. The students need to assist to class and do what the teacher orders, and the teachers needs to assist to class, provide tasks to the players, and punish the players that doesn't follow the rules, okay? And that's what we are going to do right now in your map. To set up this specific part, I'm going to ask you to do the next thing. Let's enter the map again. All right, let me switch to full screen better, so you will be able to see better the different setups that I'm going to have. So once again, click here. And right now you are going to have this screen as soon as you turn start introduction. So the first thing that you are going to do is to add a new introduction. When you hit on display picture, will allow you to take a picture of the map. Remember that that picture is going to be the image of an introduction. On here, describe what the players needs to do. So probably according to your map, it's going to check in behalf of the mine, because the mine is just focused on teachers and students. Your school could be a monster school, so you are going to have like different roles on it. But for mine, it's going to be students. And also we are going to have some rules for the students. So probably you didn't know that, or you already did, but for give colors to the text, you only need to press or use these tags before the words or the text that you're going to place. So type pounds and then the letter or the initial of the color. So as an example, G is going to be green, red is going to be R, blue is going to be B, and Y is going to be yellow. In this case, I'm going to choose green for students. And we are going to place here the rules for students. So first rule, assist to class schedule. Okay, so my first rule. Second rule, do what teacher orders. Now we are going to do the teachers. The teachers are going to be in red, so remember pounds and R from color red. Then put the name of the teachers. Okay, guys, and now put the rules for the teachers. So create task for the students. Now let's do a a punish to teach the students that doesn't behave in the right way. And finally, awards to the students, okay? Remember that the rules are going to change according to your map. Now I'm going to show you how it looks, okay? So right now you are not going to see anything, but if you leave the map and you join again, you are going to see the difference. So yeah, you are going to see that we have here like the introduction. Probably we left some specific thing that was to hit here in introduction, so this one needs to be on also to show this part. Now let's try again. Let's see if this time it is going to show us the complete introduction. Now let's check very quickly. Yeah, there you go. You have just the picture. Remember to take the right picture, not the one that I take. It's just an example. But we have the description. And with this specific feature, you will have up to 4 different images to place on here. Okay, so to add a new one, just hit on this one and you are going to have more options. For the start options, you are going to select house opens. It's very important because with this, the main player can choose when you can start the game. Please, as a personal idea or something that I always do is to keep this part, the part that says join, game in progress, in on, because if you keep it off, probably you are going to start playing with 2 players and no other players will be able to join. So my personal recommendation to do a cool game, keep this one in on. For counting, it doesn't matter. The music could be whatever you want. In my case, I prefer to keep no music for most of my games. But in your case, select whatever is better to you. Also, I advise you to keep it in default because with default, all the music is going to be in a playlist, so it's going to play it like a random music. Minimum amount of players to start the game, as this is going to be a teacher or student game, I recommend it to choose at least 2 players. Now, for the game target, we are not going to give any limited time because this is a school simulator. There's no rules for that. Be sure that all these specific things are going to be in 0. The gold is going to be completely off. The turn base is going to be completely off. When the reset is scored, when reach a target, please keep it completely off because we are not going to use. So basically, all those things are going to be deactivated. Finally, polluted area. Don't do that because this is like I don't know if you have played before like these specific games like Battle Royale. This is going to be like the area that gets reduced from time to time. So keep that part off, okay? This is very important. Some players were asking me what happened if I move this one. When you keep the play mode, that means that your map is going to be reset or is going to keep the changes. So as an example, if you want that the players can like having always like the same things, that the room is going to keep it like it is after they leave the map, select do not reset the map. But if you want to restart the game, that all the constructions, all the items that get damaged or all the decoration resets each time that you restart the game, so select reset start. And save players data, this will allow the players to save the items. So as an example, if a player has some items from another game, from another room, but the same game, they will be able to save that information so that when they access the room, they are going to keep those items. Now, for team settings, that's going to be the important thing. Oh, just a quick view. Remember that everything on this is completely off and in default, okay? So for the map settings, we are going to create 2 different teams. We are going to create the team 1 that is going to be the students and the team 2 that is going to be the teachers. So for the students, remember to increase the number of players that can join here. For this, just move this slider. Remember to open this menu, you hit in edit next to the team, then move it like you can select 20 players. It's the recommended one to avoid it like having that much players. The team name is going to be called students, okay? And I'm going to teach you later why. But remember also, if you have a different game, you can have, as an example, if you have a military game, you can have the cadets here. and the instructor is going to be the teacher. So this name is going to be related with your concept. You cannot change the color of the team. For permissions, select custom configuration, and you are going to do the next thing. We are going to turn off this part that says assaultable. We are going to be this one, keep off this one that says summon allowed, and we are going to keep everything else on. Okay, and can be injured needs to be on too. Okay, so with this we are going to be assured that the player can do different things and can discard items and all of that. What is going to do this one is that the player cannot attack, and this one won't allow the player to get like summons on it. Okay, for the initial value, you can keep it like it is. There is no need to move it unless you want to change some setups like the lives, the health, the hunger point. For me, it's going to be off. Initial items we are going to set up later, so he's unknown, but don't set up yet. And initial appearance we are going to keep it like it is. Now we are going to set up the teachers. The teachers can be needs to be less players. So in my case, I'm going to just keep one teacher. Once again, we are going to just change the name. For the permissions, we are going to let the player attack other players because the player will be able to warn or punish the player. So we are going to do some items like the rule. When this player uses the rule, it will send the players to the detention room. And also when he hit the players with the start, he will be able to warn the other players. So that needs to be on. The player cannot discard the items, so the player is not going to be able to provide the rule to another players. The player cannot be defeated and cannot be injured, so no one will be able to attack the player, okay? Summon and allowed, we are going to keep it off, and yep, the player will be able to pick up items, okay? Now, as you see, we have 20 players here and 1 player right here. Moving next, we have this part that is going to be the general settings for all the players. We are going to keep it like it is. The only thing that we are going to move is this one. The one that says summon allowed, we are going to keep it off. With this, the players are not going to be able to summon some specific mounts. And with that, the players are not going to be able to cheat, to exit from the room, or do different things that we are not interested to get with, okay? For the next part, skills allowed, very important, keep it off, because with this, the players will be able to use the skin skills, and sometimes that is not going to be fair for the other players. Because as an example, the player can transform, can fly, and yep, we don't want to have the player like another advantage. Now, for this part, we are going to keep in team battle, okay? Now, moving back to the respawn settings, we are going to give the players some time to think about their deaths. Why? Because if we don't give like a punish of time to the players, they are going to be killing themselves all the time. So remember to make the death feel like it's a death. If you have nothing to lose, the death is going to lose the meaning. So it's going to be cooler for the players to avoid to death. So at least a punishment with time is going to be nice. Now, we are going to hit respawn automatically. The revival protection doesn't matter, keep it in 1, in 5, it's okay. We are going to choose respawn at the random point, okay? Very important, random point is going to be okay because we are going to select different points. Finally, for when the player dies, very important, keep the items, because if we kill the players and the players drop the items, the players will be able to, or the students are going to be able to pick the teacher rule. So that's very important. Number of life, we are going to keep it off, okay? So right now we are really finished with the first 3 setups for our rules in our map. Now we are going to move to display settings. So, first option, map display. All the players need to be visible, because if we keep this one, they are not going to appear in the minimap, in the radar, and it's going to be very difficult for the players to meet each other. For the name display, we also are going to keep visible to all. For damage, we are going to keep don't show damage because we don't want the players to hit each other. For the health bar, as this game is not a fighting game, we are going to keep it off. Remember, the health bar is going to be off. Now, for scoring time, as we don't want to have that, because as you see right here, in the top of my screen, you are going to see a number and the letter that says unlimited. We don't need that because we are not going to use it. So for this map, and to avoid the players to get distracted, we are going to just completely turn off that one. Also, we are going to turn off battle tips. The only one that we are going to keep on is at the crosshair. Crosshair is like this specific thing in the middle that allows you to see where you are actually aiming, like this one. And yeah, that needs to be completely on for now, okay? Let me fix there. All right, so right now we almost ending. For the vision, that in English you are going to see version, but it's vision. We are going to keep it like it is. Don't move that part. For player attributes, we are going to just keep it like it is. Don't move anything. And we already start by setting up our rules, okay? Start creating some building techniques, okay? So, why is important is because most of the players know how to build a map, but there are some tips that you as a player need to know. For the building techniques, there are some tips, some cool things that you need to do to create the perfect map, okay? So, just right the last class, we defined like the schedule, not the schedule, like the layout that we are going to use for our map. I personally recommended to do this one because the players are going to be able to spawn in the lobby right here, and they will be able to go access to the school directly and check the different things inside the school. They are going to have the classroom in which they are going to take the classes. They are going to have an interactive area in which they are going to play mini games. They are going to use the breaks. Some stores that's going to give you some extra money to you, and also the players are going to be able to get some extra items. They will be able to access to the rooms at the end, so they have to cross all the way to the interactive zone on the classrooms to find the rooms. So they will be able to know where is located everything. And some special areas around the rooms that could be like some parks, or in which players can just talk together, like you can use a swimming pool, whatever you want. But this is going to be the ideal schedule or layout. Also, another important thing, for this specific one, we are going to create some limits, and those limits are going to teleport the players back to the lobby when they get away from the school. So try to do like a square shape it. Of course, about the layout. Of course, the buildings can be rounded or whatever you want, but for now, we're going to try to keep this area. So just as a recap, for this map, I choose this style. For choose your style, you can do whatever you want. You can choose your personal one. Very recommended for you to search some references on the internet that you can find out to get your map. So as you see, it's going to be very clear. We are going to have some colors that are going to be inside the school. We are going to have in the middle, like some parts of the sports sections, like the racing track. We also are going to have some soccer field, some baseball field. So remember to check that, okay? So first, my personal recommendation is to get like a real plane or something that you can take from internet to know how you can organize the ideas. So as you see, this specific like a plane or like layout from architecture, it's completed with the one that I want to do. It's almost just the same. Okay, the rooms are going to be here. We can choose the classes here, the store here, and the players are going to start from here. And inside the middle, we can place wherever we want, okay? So now that you have the different references, we are going to start to build in the map. And what is going to be the first tip? We are going to use a visual reference, just like the one that I'm showing you right here, okay? What will be the second step? We have to have a clear testing path. What I mean with a clear testing path? I mean that your layout allows the player to focus in what matters, that are going to be the information about the map. So first, before you start decorating your map, before you start like creating like the gardens and all the stuff, the first thing that I need you to do is to be sure that the players are going to feel comfortable, that they are going to know where they can move around, okay? Our lobby, okay? So if you allow me to switch here to the presentation back, we already have this area covered, right? What's going to be next for this one? So the green parts are going to be the parts that we already covered. Now we are going to create the classrooms in this area, the stores in this one, the rooms, and we are going to keep a space in the middle. Right now, we have this first part. Now we have to be sure that the players are going to have enough space in the middle to play the different activities. So try to give enough space, but very important, as you see, I'm using the minimum settings here on the view, so the players will be able to, you will know when the players are going to see. So be sure that the building that you are going to build right here is going to be able to be seen from the spawn. So let's start right here. With this, we give enough space to the players to start the game. So as these are going to be the classroom, remember that a classroom is going to have like a lobby. Then we be sure that you give enough space to the lobby, and also we are going to have the classroom space. So be sure that you are going to give enough space to both of them, okay? So for the lobby, for me it's going to be more than enough to keep 10 blocks. Right now we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And now for the class, we are going to give another 10 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we have the first one. And very important, as this is going to be a modular game, we are going to design first this one that is going to be the first class. So just imagine that you are here and there is the class. Do you think that there's going to be enough space? For sure there is going to be enough space right here. So once again, we are going to delete the floor, and after you delete the floor, you are going to select here like something to place on, okay? And yeah, we are going just to keep the same structure. Remember that you can design the floor according to how many classes you are going to have. As this is going to have 2 floors, I recommend it. In 2 floors, you can place 3 classes or 3 rooms down and 3 rooms up. So yeah, just select the right amount for you. Okay, once again, we are going to delete. And let's do this. Let's, instead of delete, remember that you can use also this specific tool, the one that is right here, number 6, that allows you to switch the floors in the block. The blocks in the floor. Right here, you need to select which kind of floor or which kind of block you are going to have and which one is going to be the new. And check this, we change also that one, okay? So, and right here in the middle, for some reason, we get this space that has actually no blocks. So for this one, we are going to fill manually the blocks, okay? Once again, just select the floor block that you are going to use. And on there, you are going to have the layout also for the classrooms, okay? So right now, as you check, the player will be able to see the start of the school, even if the player has the features in minimum, directly from the lobby door. Now we need to also select the space for the classrooms, for the stores. So the stores doesn't need to be that bigger. So as we are going to have some stores here, some specific features that the player can build or get, just select a small amount. So with 10 floors it's going to be too much. Let's select around, let's see, we have 3, 5, 7. Let's select 7 blocks. Delete and just place the new blocks here. And be sure that the player is also going to be able to check their different like stores directly from the lobby, okay? I see. So check this. Directly from the lobby, players will be able to check both. First, the rooms, the classrooms, sorry, the stores, And also right here in the middle, according to um, our here layout, we are going to have this middle area that is going to be the actual interactive area. So we already covered the classroom area, okay, and we also covered the stores. Now we have to design where are going to be the rooms and some special areas. In the special areas you can place wherever you want. And for this, what we are going to do is just take this. So it's going to be here in the end. So we are going to mark down this area, okay? For doing it, just go ahead and select again with the same tool. Be sure that this is in selection mode. We are going to choose once more 10 feet or 10 blocks. It's going to be enough for creating the rooms. And also keep some extra for giving the player enough space to also pull the lobby. Now just increase the size, sorry. I want to be sure that I'm doing it right. So yep, let's do it until this point. Once again, delete and place the floor blocks, okay? So right now we have actually the layout for our school. As you see, my school is not going to be that big. It's going to have just enough space for the players to play. Of course, around this area we are going to place some rooms or some specific things. You are going to be a little bit confused because there is a lot of elements in the room and players are going to be like, oh, where I shouldn't start, I'm going in the right direction. Once again, I place those markers as different colors, yellow, red, and blue. The blue one, it means that is going to be an interactive item or interactive information. Yellow are going to be the exits, and red are going to be something that obstructs the scene. So imagine that the players are going to start here. With this, you are going to notice that the players are not going to see anything important, and they are going to have a direct way to know what's going to be the next step because the exit is going to be there. Once they exit from here, they are going to be able to see the different elements that compose the lobby. On here, they are going to see directly the store. Then we are going to see some information in this specific label, and they are going to have the exit here, okay? Now, we have the lobby, the first part already planned, and we have a clear desking path. When I mean at the health and the sides, it's that it's going to be very important that you keep some elements of the sides of the height. When you access to a room, this is how the information is going to be organized. So the part in green is where the players are going to be able to see the information. The yellow the players are going to see it, but some players are going to miss it. Everything over red is going to be completely loose. So what does it mean? Does it mean that when you are going to place a sign or you are going to place something important, try to do it here. Try to do it here also, and right here. But if you place the important information, even if the sign or whatever you want to show to the players is big, the players are going to miss most of the times that information. And yeah, so that's why when you design a store, you are going to see that all the items are going to be at the health of the ice. Let me show you an example in another map in MiniWorld. Let me show you. So as you see, all the items, all the skins are in this area, and you are going to have more information, but the important things are going to be in this area. So as you see right there is a big sign, like big signs at the sides, but probably like me, you didn't notice that because the camera focus or the player attention is going to be in the first 3 blocks. So even if you place big signs, the players are not going to see it and are going to miss it. So remember to design all the information in that area. Right here, I also made a mistake making this game. Just to let you know, those items are the items that are providing more earnings, that the players put the most. Players are not really putting this the most because first, the information is too high. Right now I should change that. And also this is going to result because once more, the lobby that I created here is just designed like the previous that I showed you. Right here, we keep the attention to the players to the exit, so the players know that they need to go to the second floor. And right here, as you see, the information that they are going to see at first, and that is more notorious in the room, are going to be the skins. Okay, the size and the health matters for just make your players know where they need to move. Now, the space needs to be comfortable. What does it mean? What does it mean that the space needs to be comfortable, guys? Well, that means that when you are in game, you need to be sure that the players are going to have enough space, okay? You need to be sure that the space that you left between walls, between rooms, it's going to have enough space for the players to walk, to move. I see some mistakes in some of your maps that you already showed me, and is that the players are not going to have enough space, so they are going not to be able to play, and they are going to feel like they are trapped. So check the space that I left just in this one is 6 blocks. That means that if we have one that more than one player, the players are going to be able to move around. The class also has enough space for the players to join and to move around. That also happens for any of the classes. So instead of using one door, that is going to be sometimes a little bit buggy because players are going to be stuck here on the splat. Keep 2 doors, at least always keep 2 spaces for the players to move around. Of course, you are going to have some specific ways that you need to reduce that, but in general, try to keep at least 2 spaces, also 2 spaces up at least. Also check this. We have like here a little restroom, and we have also the 2 spaces here for the players to move. And this is very important, guys. For the stairs, always use at least 4 blocks. Because if you place a 1 block, it's going to be too complicated. 3 blocks is going to be okay also, but 4 blocks is going to be ideal, okay? It's going to have more space. But as an example, in this one, I only keep 2. But I never keep 1, I always keep at least 2. And why I keep 2 on this one? Because the only players that are going to be able to access this area is the one that rent this room. So it's going to be only 1 player for this size. And it's going to be only 1 players for this one. We have the next part that is going to be the construction talks. Is that depending of what you design, your school is going to have some concepts. As an example, when you do want to do something that looks epic, that looks big, that looks imponent, try to create big parts in the architecture. That's going to make the school feel bigger. And that depends of your map, as my map is modern and I want to do like an imponent school and have enough space to use the graffiti kind that you can use when you are a student. I place big spaces, okay? And another important thing here, as we are going to do a creative school, I do a lot of colors. So as you see, so in this, instead of that, imagine that your school is going to be a monster school. Do you think that if it's a monster school, it's going to be better to build this school under the ground and do like a big caverns, so they are going to see like a city inside underground? And that's going to talk to the players. It's going to tell the players first that there is like not a normal city, that is like a dark city because it's under the ground. It's going to show to the players that if you have a big caverns, that means that a lot of players or a lot of monsters have been working on it. And the colors that you are going to use are going to show the players the dark style. So think about that when you are creating the map, okay? And when I mean the block palette, I mean that to keep your map like in Unity, as you see my map looks like it's the same school in every part of the room, is because I use a palette. What does it mean? We are not going to create a lot of blocks from different types. We are going to use like a base for everything, okay? For a start. So let me switch to mini world. As we are going to create like a medieval game, we are going to define our architecture style. So first one, we are going to use some wood that was used in architectural structures. We, for the palette, are going also to create some other parts that are going to be in rock, because that was another important thing that was used in the medieval era. Okay. Next, we are going to use some specific parts from the floor, as we want to give the school like this look, like looks medieval. We are going to use this one for some details and also for the floor. And finally, to provide like an extra end to your map, we are going to choose a 4 blocks. So remember, we are going to use 4 different blocks as base. And to give this medieval look, let me think about a good one that we can use, or if in the comments you want me to choose a specific block for this, just let me know, okay? Let's use this one, okay? So for this one, we have the 4th block that is going to be blocks that are going to be also in stone, but they are polished and they are going to have some images. So we have like the initial palette for or choose our map. Now, from these initial 4 blocks that you are going to start for creating all your map, get like some alternate versions. So from the wood one, we can choose another couple of blocks that are going to be, as an example, we can choose the stairs. So let me check a quick look for the stairs. So for this one, we are going to use the stairs, and also we are going to use this specific block. For the wood one, for the rock one, we are going to use another stairs in case we need to place an outside the stairs. And we are going to use another block that is very similar, that is going to be the floor block. For this one, we can choose an alternate version that could be very similar to that one. So we are going to have 2 different options to pick off. And finally, for this one, we can choose an alternate version, something that helps us to just have some extra style for it, okay? So as you see, we are going to use those 4 blocks. We are going to place those 4 blocks in all the architecture. All this style is going to refer to our style. And we are going to use it right here. So let me start building here and a specific room that you are going to be able to see, okay? So for starting building, we are going to build the fleece classroom of the fleece first part. So we are going to place the classroom here. We are going to start with the base. So most of the building is going to be in wood because it's a medieval style. Once again, take note about the sides, and the space is going to be comfortable. So I recommend it to use a good height. 2 is the size of the player, 3 is going to be more, 4 is going to be the double of the size, 6 is going to look fine because the players are going to jump and they are going not to feel that they are reaching the floor. Now let's give another one to give enough space, okay? So this is going to be the size of our classroom. For this, the quickest way to do it is just fill in this with the tool. And we are going to use the wood a specific block that we choose for starting this. Okay, now we are going to remove all the blocks inside it until the floor. And this is going to be the quicker way to construct. Let me see here. I think this one is going to be okay. Let's delete everything inside it. Okay, I think we left one. Okay, so we have the base for creating our map. Okay, now we have the first part, like the background of our building. Now we are going to start to once more design this specific part that is going to be how your school is going to look. So the main thing that we want for the players to notice is the door. So once more, keep at least 2 blocks always, because it's going to be much comfortable to use. And to avoid the players to feel small, to feel like they are entering something very slow, just give another size. Now that you're here, try to place the elements. So as an example, we want to give some windows to the school. As this is facing the outside wall, we are going to use right here the first window. Remember that this is just going to be a quick example, guys. You will have more time to choose your art style. As this is a medieval style, we are going to just do some small windows that these medieval constructions will have. Okay. So we are giving like 2 spaces for 2 spaces to construct the windows. We are only going to keep one big window. And yeah, as you see, we have the first croquis. So right now we have an idea about how we are going to implement the elements. Right now we are going to place here the school. And something that you notice is that the first floor that we place is not combining that much with the medieval concept. So we are going to use, instead of that, this one. That is going to be more related with the school. Because it's a medieval school, right? So right here we are going to switch the floor. We are going to choose one of the models that we chose before. Let me find it out. This one, I think. Yeah, much better. Now it's going to look a little bit better. Now we are going to, from our palette, start to give some elements to the school. So as an example, we can have some windows here. All right, and we start the decoration. So as an example, we can pick this one to give some like feeling about this. And as you see, we are using the same things. But right now there is a big mistake with this one, and it's that everything looks so much plain. It looks the same color, and that's not going to be funny at all. Right now it looks like just the face. So there is where we are going to have the next like tip for you guys, and it's going to be to give some contrast to your construction. So when I mean give some contrast, is that the players notice the difference in between the floor, the walls, also the roof of the construction, okay? So if you notice, guys, is going to be much better to give some extra points here. So to start giving some contrast on it, we are going to do this. As an example, we are going to just change the apart from our school. We are going to give to the first blocks the look that they were made like in rock, okay? So remember that we have a palette that we were following to construct our map. We are only going to use 4 maps for the base. Of course, later we are going to do some decorations, but from the base we are going to use only these 4, okay? And one of them was this one. Okay, so now the school's going to look a little bit more realistic, more alive, all right? Now we also can think on the we can think also in the roof, okay? So for the roof we are going to give also a little bit of contrast. So we already use like the wood. We are going to use another material to give the roof a little bit of contrast, okay? Now you should be able to see my screen. So as you see, just with two details, the school looks much alive, if at least from inside. And also, once more, remember that this is just a quick example. Of course, we are going to have some details on it, but it's just like for starting the class, okay? Switching back to the presentation, guys, we are going to do the next thing. Now that we already have the contrast, we are going to do a modular design, okay? And also, we are going to keep it efficient. What is a modular design? My recommendation is, instead of designing all your school from one side, just from one point, design building by building and then copy and paste, okay? So I'm going to show you that later. Just let me give you some quick emphasis to this one. So now to finish this, or to give some extra details, we are going to start decorating this class. So right now it looks a little bit plain, but we are going to give some extra depth to this class, okay? Okay, now check this. We are having like this special part of the medieval classroom, a little bit more alive. And as you see, we are using just the same blocks, okay, that I showed you in the beginning. We are giving some contrast to it, and also we are giving just like the basic things for it, okay? So now, as you see, we already have those. We didn't use like a block inside of it, and it's going to be this one. So for this one, we can create some specific things, like as an example, some parts that we want to resolve. But as you see, just in some minutes, we create like the base for the classroom very quickly. Okay, and yeah, let's do this just to provide you the full example, because I want you to check. Is that you can use this to give the look. For now, we are just checking inside the school. Of course, we can provide more like different shapes. As an example, just to make the school look better, we can do this to the borders and provide some more layers of dip here. But that's something that you have to do, guys, in your end, just to give the school enough look or good look, okay? Important things, guys. Now, as an example, we can start implementing some special parts about a classroom. So even if it's a medieval school, we are going to have like the chartboard, like the whiteboard, in which all the classes are going to have the classic element of the class. So we are going to put the chartboard for this. Just do simple things. So as an example, you can use just a green here, and to give the look like it's like a chartboard, you can use those blocks to give that extra look. Now it's going to be the chartboard. Something that's left here is going to have some lights. Remember, that is something that you can do it later. For now, I'm going to place it very quickly to So now it looks cool, but we need to make it a little bit cooler. So what about if we change the time, okay? So remember that sometime I was teaching you how to change the time. So let's do a 19. And now the class looks more medieval, man. At least inside the room, okay? So as you see, we have an example. Probably we need to give a little bit more of light to it. Now, check this. The space is comfortable. You can move around. You have your class. And also you have the ambience for creating this. Of course, you are going to do more details. As an example, you can place like outside the school some extra blocks and everything. But for now, like this is going to be the base, okay? So here is where it comes another quick tip about the construction, okay? So let me switch to the presentation. Now you're supposed to be able to see it. And it's going to do a modular design. And what does it mean? Instead of creating all the parts together, what you are going to do is using this tool to copy and paste most of the classes. With this, you are going to save a lot of effort. When I refer to keep it efficient, I mean, if you notice, we didn't use that much custom blocks. I think we didn't even use a custom block yet. We are using just mini word blocks. And why is this, and why is important? Because when you have a lot of miniatures in your map, it's going to be slower. It's going to take more time to load. Players are going to have some difficulties loading the map. So my best recommendation is use default mini word blocks. Only use the custom blocks, the miniature blocks, for important things. As an example, if you have an item, try to use it for the item. If you have a player, use it for the player. But don't use it for the construction, because it's going to take that much time, okay? So as you see, by copying and pasting, I already have a big part of my school. Of course, I left some things to do, as an example here, doing like something that the players can use to walk. But of course, that's going to take time that we don't have right now because we almost in the class. But that's something that you have to do as a homework, okay? So once more, use the different the different tips and techniques that I showed you for construct your map to be able to construct your map as you want it to have it, okay? So as an example, we can start putting some things here, but yeah, that's just up to you guys. You are the ones that are going to take the time to do it, okay? Important things, guys, just to check it again. Remember that from the lobby, when you exit the lobby, right here, you will be able to see the school directly and also the stores, okay? So that's something important for now. So moving back to the presentation, or not to the presentation, as we left a little bit of time, let me show you how it's going to look at the end. Of course, this is a different example right here, but there are some things that you need to have once more. It's going to take a little time to load. So as you see, it's this almost the same structure, but it's going to have more elements, okay? Because of course you need to decorate. But the important things that you have to do first, have the classrooms. Second, have the lockers. Have a bathroom also, in which players can access. You will need to have also the rooms where the players are going to be able to decorate and build the rooms. And once more, you can have some areas, some free areas, and some activities around, okay? Some stores also. So just to show you again the final steps, this is my lobby. As you see, the lobby is going to be at the beginning. I didn't sell anything from here, but you are going to do it. As you see, the player cannot distract, and the first thing that he's going to see is the school, okay? Once more, in the school, the player is going to be able to see the rooms that you are going to construct, but also some important things. Around the school, we are going to place like a border in which players cannot exit. And yeah, that's the important thing about this. Also for the free area, so the special activities area, you can choose a swimming pool, a different kind of mini games, depending of your game, of course. Why is it important to place this area around the game, okay? So let me show you. The players cannot exit from this area in my game. So as an example, if a player tries to leave on the school, what is going to happen is that the player is going to be killed. So place these areas around the map to just close your map. As you see, my map doesn't have like anything special about if you exit from the school. It's just something to avoid the players to see more like that. But if you get out from there, there's nothing else, just a blank area. And we don't need to design that area because we are not going to use it, okay? And yep, remember that this channel is also working for English and Spanish, so please subscribe if you want to receive the next classes. And yep, for now this is everything.